like we need to start this video by just taking a second to appreciate my shirt. Okay? Tell me this is not the greatest shirt you've literally ever seen in your life, because it is seriously so cute. I will leave the link down below. I just love it so much. Okay. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to be doing my first kind of sit down video on this channel. My hair is a mess. This is like leftover from going out last night, but I'm really excited to be sitting down and doing my first kind of a sit down video with you guys, which yeah, I get this question asked by literally everyone in the world. Co-workers, people I don't even know, message me on Instagram, people I went to high school with, friends, family. Everyone wants to know how I can afford to go to Disney while I'm in college. So I figured, let's spill some tea. There's not much tea to spill, really. I hate to disappoint you guys, but it's actually nothing like crazy mysterious and like this crazy tip that's gonna help you save money when you go to Disney. I'm so sorry. But I figured I'd just share my advice with you guys, and for anyone who is not new to the Disney World, some of these tips might be a little repetitive and you may have already heard them before, and if you have, I'm so sorry. But for anyone new to the Disney community, maybe this video can help you guys out. So I guess we should preface this video by, I guess I should introduce myself. Hi, my name's Carter. I'm 21. I live in Ottawa, Ontario, which is in Canada. I'm a fourth year undergrad student here in Ottawa, so I am in college full time, but I do also work full time. I love work. I'm a workaholic. I just love to work so much. So that kind of helps. I work at a hospital as an inpatient clerk, and I do make a bit more than minimum wage. I've talked about this. And yeah, I just kind of like to preface this by saying, so you guys can kind of just totally understand how I can afford this. I'm not saying this is not affordable on a minimum wage job. You know, I truly believe that if you are determined enough to do something, you're going to find a way to do it no matter what. Nothing's going to stop you. I truly believe in that. So make it $24.75 an hour, multiply that full time. Technically, this is where it gets complicated. I'm a unioned employee. I'm a part-time union employee, not a full-time. So my full-time max is actually 30 hours a week. So technically full-time for me is 30 hours a week, which is 60 hours of pay. So I bring home a decent paycheck at the end of 2 weeks, probably a little bit more than a college student would, but that's just because I am determined to travel and I pick up all the shifts that I can, because like I said, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. That was my little preface, just so you guys kind of get a little background understanding of how I can tell my college budget. I wrote some notes down on my iPad, how YouTube of me, cute little checklist that I'm going to go through with you guys. So the first one I have is to obviously save. I know this is so hard. This video is mainly aimed at college students or like young adults, so some of this stuff might not apply if you're like an actual adult watching this. One, I live at home. I don't pay rent. But I mean, I do have a brand new car. I do pay car insurance. I do pay my phone bill. I have payments to pay, obviously. But I don't pay rent, and that's a huge factor, obviously, because I can save that money. But I am a workaholic by nature. So are my parents. I just love to work. I love my job. I love picking up shifts, and so I pick up any shift I can. And the way I do it is, so I budget every month, and so what I do is I go in and I take all of my pre-scheduled shifts. Now, I mean, if you're watching this and you have a salary job, I'm sorry, but you can save money too. This just might not apply to you. So I go in and I do my budget with my pre-scheduled shifts for the next 2 weeks. And I take that amount that I'm gonna get paid, and I, put, stuff in bills, and then I put stuff on my credit card, and then I put stuff in savings. And anything I pick up after that, which is usually about 10 to 15 hours of pay, that goes right into my travel fund, because that money has not been calculated in my budget. It's not been accounted for. My bills are already paid with the actual paycheck I'm gonna get, and anything that I work overtime or I pick up shifts, that's just extra money in my pocket. And so I will put that in my savings account to save for Disney. And I do keep track on my budget spreadsheet, which if you guys want to see that, let me know. I keep track of that on my budget spreadsheet, and I just kind of write down the shift day and then how many hours and then how much that'll be, so that when I get my paycheck, I just take off all the overtime first, stick that in my savings, and then I go about my budgeted paycheck. So that's kind of how I budget in general for Disney. But I also, I don't really go out to eat much. I pack lunches. I've turned a whole new leaf, because I kind of told myself, you know, if it means you gotta stop buying expensive coffee and eating lunch and going out for dinner every night just to go to Disney, I think it's so worth it. So I pack all my lunches for work and school. I'll treat myself to coffee on weekends or the day I get paid, but that's about it. And then I also just don't really go out for dinner with friends anymore. I try and find other things to do, you know, like hikes and stuff that are free. I do go out for dinner maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, but definitely not often. And that has helped a lot too, is definitely just watch your spending habits, and I can make a cup of coffee at home, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely been a big one too. It's just kind of cutting down in all areas I can, which is for me going out. The second is a travel agent. Travel agents don't get any commission off of you. They're actually paid directly by Disney. I know some people, when I first started talking to a travel agent, I was like, okay, you're literally just giving me this deal so you can have my money. But no, they get paid directly by Disney. They don't get any commission off of what they make off of you, but they are really, really great. If you don't go through a travel agent, highly recommend. One, they can book all your reservations for you and your fast passes, so you don't have to get up super early and do it. And two, they're gonna find you great deals. I emailed my travel agent for my July trip. I emailed her and I said, hey, I want to go within, you know, these 2 months. When would be the best time to go? Disney is always having promotions. Like this summer they're doing the free dining plan. They're also doing the Fun in the Sun deal, I believe, which is what we're doing, which is between 10 and 20% off your hotel. There's a ton of ways that they can help you save, and they just will answer all your questions, and they're really, really great, especially for race weekends and stuff. My travel agent Nancy is literally the best. She answers all my questions. She tells me the best time to go. She finds me any deal she can, and she's really awesome. I'll leave her link down. I'll leave all her details down below if you guys are interested in booking with her. She's amazing, but I definitely recommend going through a travel agent. Even if you don't book through them, just to get an idea of any promotions going on. You can also always just check, I think it's Disney World promotions and offers. And if you are an AP or a DVC, obviously you get additional promotions and offers. I think we got one as an AP this summer, but yeah, definitely recommend. Like, the next one is gift cards. This is my favorite way to save for Disney. I don't know about you guys, but I am someone who, if I just physically put money in my savings account, I'm just gonna want to take it out and spend it. It's just the way I am. I don't know if it's because I'm young. I do have very good money principles, and I have really good, like a good foundation about money that my parents taught me. I'm very thankful, but I can't just see money sitting in my savings account. I just can't. I just want to spend it. The great thing about Disney is you can buy gift cards. I pay for my trips and gift cards, which is amazing. And now they're finally available in Canada, which is awesome. The only thing is you have to watch the US dollar because you're buying them in Canadian dollars, but that's like really the only thing. But personally, I just rather buy them in gift cards because I can't spend that on anything else, and then I don't have to worry about the money being on my savings account. This is how I've been saving for my trip this summer. So obviously you can tell some of them are different amounts. This one's 30, this one's 50, and then these ones are all 100. I do it, so like I said, when I get that overtime or when I pick up shifts or anything, I just put that right into my savings account. Or what I do is if I don't pick up any overtime or anything, I just allot a certain amount every 2 weeks that I buy a gift card with. And it really can just depend on what you can afford, you know. Some weeks I just do 25, some weeks I do 50, some weeks I do 100. It really just depends on what you can financially afford with a paycheck. But if you're not working overtime or picking up any extra shifts, then you can definitely just kind of go through your budget, see where you have room to play with, and then take out that money every 2 weeks to pay for your trip. It's a very common method. I see a lot of people on the Facebook groups doing it. So basically anything else extra I do, whereas if that's like, you know, I bring my clothes to Plato's Closet, which gives you money back. I house sat a few weeks ago, dog sitting, anything kind of random like that where I'm just making money. If I'm selling, I sold my old Apple Watch a few weeks ago. Anything extra income like that, I also just put in gift cards too, because I'm not going to miss that money. I wasn't even calculating it into my budget to begin with. Yeah, personally, that's how I like to save for Disney. This is kind of a controversial one, and I just kind of wanted to touch on it briefly because being an AP is actually probably one of the only reasons I can afford to go to Disney, or I can afford to go so much. Obviously, as a huge Run Disney lover, the races can get pretty expensive, and my dad and stepmom calculated it, and even if we just went for like, I think a combined total of like more than 8 days, it's worth it to buy the AP. Only because, so you calculate your, what is it, 70 something US a day to go to Disney, admission ticket, and then my AP was like $800. So it's a chunk of money at once, obviously you have to save up for, but one, you get 20% off all your merchandise, 20% off a lot of clothes, 20% off of all Run Disney merch when you go to race weekends. And it was just worth it to me because now anytime extra that I am able to go, which obviously I'm trying to go as much as I can, I don't have to worry about paying for my park admission ticket, which is a decent amount of money that I'm saving, like close to $400 or $500 US a trip. So that's been a big one for me. I totally understand that not everyone can do it, but I definitely think if you can look into it or even like just calculate it financially, it's worth it. Like, let's see. For us, if we were there for more than 10 days out of a total year, it was worth it for us to get it because that's $700 US, and then my annual pass holder was around that. So it was definitely worth it, especially since we did a lot of the race weekends, and then it allowed me to go down the summer as well, and hopefully in the early fall as well, because that's a huge chunk of money that I'm saving out of my trip. Plus APs get additional discounts and offers and room rates and whatnot. So I definitely think if you're going down more than twice a year to definitely look into it. Or if you're participating in a lot of the Run Disney races alone. I think if you were to do all the Run Disney races, it would be totally worth it. But yeah. Next one is Google Flights. Now this is not really directly Disney, but this is how I get the cheap flights to Disney. Google Flights is a lifesaver. I don't care about any other website but Google Flights. I don't trust any other website but Google Flights, okay? They're amazing. You basically just go on and pick your dates to go in and out, and it will find you the best price by airline. And you can book with separate airlines if you want. Google lets you do that. Sometimes I'll fly Delta one way and American one the other way home. And then you can actually track your flight. So if it's pretty ahead of your trip, like 6 months out, you can just track the flight and it'll tell you when the prices go down and up. It'll send you an email so you find the perfect time to book. Google Flights is a lifesaver. I love it so much. And it'll also tell you, like, let's say you're flying down on a Thursday and coming back on Sunday, it'll say like, hey, it's $100 cheaper to fly down on the Wednesday if you want to do that instead. It kind of helps you out with that. But yeah, not really directly Disney related, but kind of, I guess. I remember with an airline and you fly specifically with the airline, but I'm not at that point yet, so I just fly with whoever's the cheapest, honestly. The next is value resorts. I love them so much. I've actually never stayed at anything but a value resort, and some people really talk down on the value resorts at Disney, and that just kind of makes my heart like just like break a little. We always stay at Pop. We stayed at Caribbean Beach 2017 Wine and Dine weekend, but I love Pop. It's so great. I think we're staying at AOA, Art of Animation, for Wine and Dine this fall. But guys, the value resorts are just as great. They are so clean. The food is so good. I obviously one day would love to stay at like Animal Kingdom Lodge or like Grand Floridian, maybe if I get a sugar daddy. But yeah, don't hate on the value resorts, because realistically, one, you know, we could afford more than a value resort, but one, all we're doing is sleeping there. And if you're there for a race weekend, you're getting up at like 4 in the morning, you're racing, and then you probably go to the park. So I just don't see the point in spending a lot of money on a hotel when you're not going to spend a lot of time at it. But I do get that some people probably do spend a lot more time at hotels, especially if they have younger kids and stuff. Like, this kind of just applies for me being an adult. But I'm at Disney to be at Disney World. I'm not there to be at the hotel. I'm not judging people who do like spend time at the hotel, but I'm someone who has to be on the go all the time, so I don't like to relax, and so I don't like to stay at the hotel. So for me, it doesn't make sense to invest in like a nicer hotel. But the value resorts are so nice, guys. They're just seriously so nice. If you guys want like tours of them, I know Happiest Vlogs does tours of the hotels, so check them out. Tim Tracker probably has them too. Pop Century is amazing. The All Stars are so nice. They make a great photo ops, let me tell you. But yeah, don't hate on the value resorts because they're just as good. The food is great. The service is great. The staff is so nice. The rooms are very clean. The rooms are very nice. They actually just renovated Pop. And so it's really nice and I really like it. So yeah, don't hate on the value resorts. There is also the debate of like on property, off property, dining plan and whatnot. Personally, this is just a personal opinion. I actually, for my July trip, kind of calculated how much it would be going off property and how much on property. And they almost turn out to be exactly the same, guys. Unless you can really find a good rate at a hotel. I'll do like a quick comparison. So if you stay off property, you have to Uber to and from the airport. Whereas with Disney, you can stay, they have the Magical Express, which is the complimentary bus service that brings you to your resort. Two, you'd have to Uber to all the parks, whereas Disney has the transportation system. You have to worry about all your food and stuff, which is not a huge deal. I know the dining plan is very controversial. At the end of the day, it ends up being almost the same amount, maybe like $50 more expensive to stay on property, and I think it's more for convenience sake. Plus, yeah, I just think staying on property is just so much more fun. You get the whole experience, especially if it's your first time going. I definitely could see myself staying off property in the future, just for like a quick weekend trip. I think if you're going for more than like a few days, it's worth it to stay on property. but I had debated going to Flower and Garden for like literally 48 hours and I would have stayed off property. It wouldn't have made sense for me, but I think if you're staying for a longer trip, it makes sense to stay on property. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. It's a very controversial subject that I'm very kind of scared to get into, but I definitely think there's pros and cons. You know, if you have points at a hotel and you get a hotel for free, obviously you can just stay off property. But staying on property as well allows you to make your reservations and your fast passes more in advance too. So there's a lot of pros and cons to consider. But I just think staying on property is so much more fun personally. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to break down some of my tips and tricks of how I can afford Disney on a college budget. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what your favorite tips and tricks are, or your way to save money or save up for Disney, or any tips and tricks you guys have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you did enjoy. And subscribe if you're not already down below so you guys never miss out on a video. And I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!